The small town of Willow Creek, Alabama, was eerily quiet that night. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath, as if nature itself sensed something terrible was about to happen. Amid the moonlit fields and shadows of old barns, a young girl stood trembling by an abandoned well. Madison Carter, just 19, her hands shaking, clutched a newborn baby, her baby. Tears streamed down her face as a cruel memory echoed in her mind. "This baby isn't mine, Maddie. Don't ever call me again." Chase Donovan. Chase, the town mayor's golden boy, football captain, and her secret boyfriend, had abandoned her when she needed him most. Her world collapsed. A deeply religious family. A preacher father. And now, a child born out of wedlock. In her mind, the only fate worse than death was disgrace. Then came the moment. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, baby," she whispered, her soul shattering, and let go. The baby slipped into the darkness. Thomas Whitaker, a 62-year-old retired veteran and widowed farmer, was working late in his fields that night. The land was his only companion since cancer took his wife. But then, he heard it. A cry. Faint, desperate. Not an animal. Following the sound toward the old well, he saw something that froze his blood, a baby, bloodied and wrapped in torn cloth, barely breathing but alive. He didn't hesitate. He lowered himself into the well, cradled the infant, and called for help. At the hospital, doctors were stunned. "It's a miracle this child survived. He shouldn't have." But Thomas believed otherwise. He wasn't just lucky, Thomas said. He was chosen. He adopted the baby as his own, naming him Eli, meaning, "God is with me." Eli grew up on Thomas's farm, among cows, chickens, and late-night bedtime stories. Thomas taught him kindness, courage, and quiet strength. But something inside Eli always felt broken. He had nightmares of drowning, of screaming in the dark. He didn't know why, but the emptiness never left. Whenever he asked, Thomas would gently say, "Son, the world didn't save you. God did." By age 20, Eli was a local firefighter, strong, silent, fearless. He never spoke of his past. He just saved lives. One Sunday afternoon, a fire broke out at Willow Creek's church during a wedding. Eli, without a second's pause, ran inside, pulling 7 people to safety. One of them was the town pastor, Reverend Raymond Carter, Madison's father. As the old man looked into Eli's eyes, he froze. You look just like him." Madison now lived in Chicago, married to a wealthy man named Daniel Hayes. 2 kids. A perfect life on the surface, but her soul had never healed. Every year, on the baby's birthday, she would hear that cry again. The one from the well. One morning, Daniel read aloud from the newspaper. "Firefighter saves 7 in church blaze. Local hero from Willow Creek." "Weird," he chuckled. "This guy looks like he could be your brother." Madison dropped her coffee. Madison returned to Willow Creek. She attended a ceremony where Eli was being honored as Hero of the Year. Their eyes met. Eli tilted his head. "Do I know you?" Madison's eyes welled up. "No, but maybe I once lost you." Later that night, Madison broke down before Thomas. "I had to know if he was okay. That's all." Thomas replied, his voice steady but sad. "You gave him birth. But I gave him life. He calls me Papa. He carries my love. You can pray for him now. But you're not his mother." Meanwhile, Chase Donovan was running for state senator. But the media caught wind of Eli's origin story, now going viral under the headline, "Boy thrown in well returns as hero." Investigations followed. DNA tests. Hospital records. A long-buried police report by Thomas from 20 years ago. The truth emerged. Chase was exposed as the father who rejected his own child and drove the mother to desperation. His political dreams crushed. His name shamed. Madison asked Eli to meet her, at the same old well. She stood quietly and said, "I don't deserve forgiveness. I just wanted to hear you say, you're happy." Eli looked into the well that once nearly ended his life. "I don't hate you," he said. "But I can't call you Mom. My mom was the one who kissed my bruises, read me stories, and never once asked why I existed." Eli's story spread across the nation. Netflix bought the rights to produce a documentary. But he declined the fame. Instead, he and Thomas started a foundation. From the Well, helping abandoned children find homes, hope, and healing. Years later, Thomas passed away peacefully, his hand in Eli's. At the funeral, Eli delivered a eulogy that brought the entire town to tears. "The woman who birthed me left me to die. The man who found me, gave me life. I wasn't pulled from a well. I was pulled from darkness, by love." Of course. Here's the beautiful and heartfelt lesson from the story, written in English with emotional depth and a universal message that will touch hearts, especially for your audience. In life, we're often taught that family is defined by blood, that being a mother, a father, or a child is something granted by birth. But time reveals a deeper truth. Real relationships are not built by biology, they're forged through love, sacrifice, and choice. This story reminds us that while one woman gave birth to a child, she abandoned him in his darkest moment, for fear of shame, for fear of judgment. Yet a stranger, a grieving, lonely farmer, stepped in without obligation, without question. And in doing so, he gave that child not just life, but dignity, identity, and unconditional love. It teaches us. Sometimes the one who raises you is more of a parent than the one who gives you life. Eli could have lived in bitterness, but instead, he chose courage. He didn't seek revenge. He offered compassion. He didn't chase fame, he created purpose. And in doing so, he became not just a survivor, but a symbol of hope. Thomas, the quiet farmer, never asked for recognition. Yet his one act of kindness lit a fire that changed a life, and eventually, the world. This story teaches us that love doesn't ask for proof, it shows up when no one else will. Sometimes strangers give us the kind of love that even family can't. Being a parent is not about giving birth, it's about choosing to stay, choosing to love, choosing to fight for someone who needs you. Greatness isn't in becoming someone powerful, it's in lifting someone powerless. And perhaps the most powerful truth of all. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength, the kind that transforms pain into peace, and scars into strength.